Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So as you can see in front of you, we have our Losi XX buggy. And to my amazement, it is in one piece. Not a single issue with the Losi tonight. So chassis protector is still in pretty decent shape. Our graphite fragile front arms made it all the way through. Same with our rear arms. So wanted to do a little video and a little update to more. We'll have all the race footage and some separate videos, so if you want to watch those, you can. And like I said, if you're tuning into this, you may just want to watch one or two of those, depending on our results. So, got to more, didn't get much practice in. Threw it down and practiced for about a minute. Got some laps in, topped our battery off, and headed into Q1. So in Q1, didn't do as well as we wanted to. I believe we started second, and had a few problems, and ended up still finishing second with a 21 lap at a 5:12. So a little off the pace of what our B3 was doing, but still shaking down the car and just getting used to it. So cleaned it up, did do a small camber change and toe change in the front, raised our ride height slightly in the back to get it sitting where we wanted to get it sitting, and headed out for Q2. Q2 had a pretty good race. I think we started fourth, fought our way through some traffic, and fortunately Mel with his Cougar LD3, I think he won every round except the third round. But trying to keep up with Mel and just, I mean, his Cougar's just too quick, and everyone's getting a little bit quicker. The track is getting faster. But we did finish second in our second qualifier, and we turned a 21 lap at a 5:05. So if you have been paying attention to this channel, that's the quickest vintage time so far. So compared to our B3, I guess. I brought the Cougars back up tonight, but didn't even use it. And the track's getting faster, and the cars are getting, or I'm getting a little bit faster just because it's the second time I've been on this layout. It's a little unfair advantage to the B3, but come vintage weekend, we're gonna find out. So, had a pretty productive Q2. Took the car back and cleaned it up, and was checking out some stuff. I seem to have something with the steering. I don't know what it is. It seems to wander a little bit, but there's nothing really loose, and I don't know. So I am going to change out all the steering, because I did buy a bell crank setup, so maybe this is just getting tired and worn out, but it seemed like it was kind of tracking funny sometimes. And I was sitting there constantly setting my trim before every round. And even with that, though, the car was still good. It showed, comparing it to a B3, the car, it has a little push to it. If you give it a brake, it tends to turn, but if not, it kind of tends to push. But the car seems quick. I mean, it's got a lot of potential, and this is on small bores. It's not on big bores like our B3. So it was, it feels agile, and it's seems like it wants to run. So Q3 came up, and Mel did not. Mel was running two classes, so he skipped the third heat. I forget where we started on pole then, and ran Q3. I think we had a couple mistakes, and we dropped down to third. We got back up to first, and then we took that heat. And won Q3, but we only turned, I think we turned to 21 at a 5:07. So 2 seconds slower than Q2, but still 21 laps at a 5:07. Pretty good pace considering the mistakes I made as well. I mean, this car had 22 laps in it. And I'd tell you right now, if I race this next week, I could probably get 22 laps out of it. I don't know if I can get 22 laps out of these tires. That's kind of they're getting wrung out, but, I have tires. I don't have wheels, so I am looking on eBay for wheels. I did find some fronts in white, so I ordered those. The rears seem like they're going to be a little bit harder, so I'm going to keep looking here over the next little bit and see what I can find. But yeah. So then high off that win, cleaned our car up, didn't make any changes really to it after that. And then went into the main, started second in the main. And I don't even remember the main that much. I think we just tooled around in second place. Mel just pulled by on us every lap with his Cougar. And at the end, we ended up finishing 21 laps at I want to say it was maybe a 5:10. So basically we ran 21 laps from a 5:05 to a 5:12 the entire night with the car. But the good news is, if you're hearing that, the car did not break. And it was on pretty good pace, but I may have to replace these ball cups, I think they're getting kind of worn. Our camber's good, but steering, I'll replace the ball cups. I'll replace the bell crank assembly just to eliminate any possible slop in there before the vintage race on the 17th. So we got 2 weeks to do that, but I'll probably take care of that this week. Everything else looked pretty good. I am going to order new bearings just in case someone put new bearings in the hubs and in the front as well. Diff is still nice and smooth, so that's good. Spur was set correctly, so that's in good shape. So yeah, we really had a good night with our Losi, and I got to tell you something. I'm pretty excited to be a Losi guy. This car was, it was quick and it felt agile. There's a little bit of dialing in I have to do in the front suspension. I'll probably move the top out one to try to get these shocks up a bit, and maybe that will give me some steering that I need, and maybe a little bit of front weight would help. But considering the mistakes I made, I felt I made some big mistakes compared to driving my B3, and I was turning, like I said, in Q2 we turned to 505, and then we turned to 507, which was the same as our B3. But this car feels quick. For whatever reason, it feels quicker. It actually may feel the quickest out of all the vintage cars, to be honest with you. The thing that was really weird was, like I said, it was kind of tracking funny down the straight. Sometimes it would kind of start kind of veering off to the right or the left. And like I said, I thought after Q2 I had that fixed because I was adjusting the toe on the camber in the front. And that still didn't seem to fix it. It was better, but I just think it's just loose. I think there's just some stuff that's worn out in there. So new ball cups, new ball studs will go in as well, and hopefully tighten that up, and we'll do the bell crank, and that should take everything out of the steering. I am going to take the front arms off. JC Racing Arms, they're in Los Angeles, so I should see those probably Tuesday, I think. And I'm going to put those on and get rid of the graphite. The graphite being as stiff it is, I don't know. I'm going to try the JC Racing, see if that helps a little bit with some front end grip on there. And yeah, guys, this is good to go. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised how well it did. And it was relatively easy to drive. It really didn't get out of shape that much. Just a little bit of push in the front end. And if you would hit the brakes and you would transfer some weight forward, it seemed to turn a lot better. Where I kind of just let cars roll through corners, and you have to be a little bit more aggressive with the double X, it seems like. So I think a little weight in the front. I'm going to move the shock tower out, or the shocks out one hole on there as well. And then we'll try the JC arms to see maybe if that will give us a little extra front grip. And like I said too, maybe I'm going to change the steering as far as the ball cups and the bell crank system, and see if I can tighten that up as well. And then, like I said, put new bearings in it and make sure that this thing is ready to go for the 17th. So if you saw my previous video, or you watch any of the racing videos from MHOR tonight, you'll hear some references to the vintage race being held on the 17th in 2 weeks. And we're taking all of our cars there. We're not taking any of the four-wheel drives. But we are taking all the two-wheel drives, minus the long arm RC10. We're going to take the B3, the Fan Graphite. We're going to take the Losi. We're going to take the Schumacher. Mel, who has raced Schumachers since the late 80s, I think he said tonight. Competent driver. Really enjoy racing with Mel. He's a clean driver. And we're probably about the same skill level. Like I said, I think his LD3 set up pretty good, and it was just too hard to catch him. And when you race a different vintage car every week, it's hard to develop that consistency, especially on a new track. But he is going to run the Cougar. Sam Ford, I think, is going to run the B3. Or he may take the Fan and defend his crown to using the same car, and then we'll let someone take the Losi, and we'll let someone take either the B3 or whatever Sam doesn't choose. So we'll get all 4 cars out there. I'm going to concentrate on just kind of video, maintaining the cars, charging the batteries, all that stuff, cleaning the tires, getting them ready for the next round, and let people race them and enjoy them. And that's what we did before with our RC10s, and that turned out great. So wanted to give a little update video, but if you want to see any of the race footage from tonight at MHOR, it's all down below in the library. So Q1, Q2, Q3, and then the main. And like I said, we won the third qualifier because Mel just decided to sit that one out. Or I think he probably would have got us on that too. And Q1, Q2 we finished second, and in the main we finished second as well. But for the first night with the double X, I don't know how much you could ask for more than that. I mean, god dang, everything's good on this car. I mean, I am impressed. Oh, it looks like our screw came out on our motor there, but I'll have to fix that, or on our cover. But really, other than that, man, this car it was great. It was fun to drive. Kind of a bigger Losi fan than I was before. Definitely, because I don't think I was too big a Losi fan before tonight. But like I said, this car ran great. The motor is secure from bulkhead. Worked out great. Like I said, I think just because it's fresh and it's newer, it's holding a lot better as far as some flexibility and stuff. Because there was a couple times where we tested some of the durability on this, but our chassis protector isn't really that bad at all. I mean, there's not many scratches on the bottom. So yeah, got this thing pretty well set up. So I'm happy. Like I said, I'm going to get it cleaned up. I'm going to fix some of the steering, go through the front end, tighten that up, do the bearings, get that ready for the vintage race day here on the 17th. And we'll see who wants to kind of take this for a spin. I think perhaps Larry Doe may want to wheel this thing a little bit, and I can get an update on our double X4, but I know he's a big Losi guy, so and I think it's set up pretty well. I think Larry will be okay with this and do well. But man, people called me a AE fanboy, and then I'm telling everyone how much I love the Cougar, and now I get on a TLR kick, and man, this car, like I said, I'm impressed the shocks aren't even leaking. I mean, it's in pretty good shape. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of continue to refresh it. If I can, I may find like a different rear shock tower. I may get I don't know if anyone makes a carbon, which would be awesome to match the front Dragon Punch. I'll check on their stuff. But other than that, we didn't really, like I said, we didn't change any of the setup that much. Just a slight camber and a slight toe adjustment on the front before Q2, which I think helped on that. And like I said, the diff is still buttery smooth, amazingly enough, because that was just like a refresh. It wasn't even like a full rebuild. So we did that, and man, that's good. Our slipper unit's good. Like, I don't know. I got to tell you, I'm maybe converting over to the dark side. So, but I am really happy with the Losi and the performance tonight. I don't know if I could ask for too much more, especially with Mel there. He's always kind of got my number, running his Cougar LD3 and all of our vintage cars. But we'll see, guys. So, well, I'm gonna leave it at that. Watch the race footage down below. Comment what you think, and start telling me who you think's gonna take the crown. come the 17th. Will it be our B3, our Losi, our Cougar, our Fan Graphite? I mean, we're going to have a little bit of everything out there. And like I said, I'm going to start mounting up some new rubber for all of them. I got all the batteries. I mean, I think we're good to go for the 17th, and that'll be pretty cool. That'll be epic, having all these cars on track at the same time, being wheeled by different people, but we'll see. So, again, like, comment, subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next one.